Welcome, welcome. Mentalism, correspondence, vibration, polarity, rhythm, cause and effect, gender. Countdown initiated. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Live. It's Wednesday morning and it is dark outside my bedroom window. Strange. Normally there's some light in the sky, but let's wait and see what the day brings. Self-love. You know when people say, you just gotta love yourself first? I think I have spoken about this before, but you know, it is worth a second mention. When you hear you have to love yourself some more, do you know how to actually apply self-love? It's not like it's a lotion or it's a perfume. When you hear self-love, what is it? Self-love. When you say to yourself who you want to be, right? If you say, I'm confident, or I am bold, or I'm sure of myself. When you say those things, they have an accompanying behavior. When someone is bold or confident, their actions would be the way they walk, the way they talk, the way they interact with people. Their heads are up, their eyes are straight. They're not cowering. You know what I mean? Because when you say, oh my God, she's so confident, you're not just saying she's confident because you're bored. You're saying she's confident because you see confidence. And how do you see it? Because she's doing something. So to apply self-love is to act the way you say that you are. To behave in the way that you say you are, deliberately, is self-love. Well, what is the evidence of love? According to Scripture, love is patient, love is kind, does not seek its own, is not puffed up, is not rude, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. It's telling you what love does. It's telling you what it does. It is patient. It is kind. It does not seek its own. It's not easily provoked. That's what it's saying. So whether or not you believe Scripture is not really relevant at this point. The point to grasp is this. It says that love is this. So love is something that one does. It also describes the fruit of the Spirit. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, gentleness, self-control. Those are all behaviors. So self-love is a behavior. Well, If love is patient and love is kind, it's not puffed up, it's not rude, it does not seek its own, what are you doing? Because some people think self-love has to do with mani-pedi. You know, you get your hair done, you smell nice. Listen, you could do all of those things and still be impatient with yourself. You can do all those things and still be speaking unkind words to yourself. Think about that for a moment. And sometimes it can be agitating when you're going through something to hear, you just need to love yourself. Sometimes that can cause more agitation than assistance, right? Because here you are going through it, and you keep hearing, love yourself. But nobody tells you what love is. It is kindness. Love is action. Why action? Well, every cause has its effect and every effect has its cause. When we say the word love, we don't just say the word love with our lips. We feel the word love in our bodies. Ponder that. If I say to you, I just love you. However you feel about love is how you will interpret what I said. If your attitude towards love is that, well, you can't really trust these folks out here. Or love is really conditional. Because you stop doing something and people stop loving you. If that is how you interpret love based upon what you have experienced in the past, when someone says, I love you, you scoff and you say, ugh, whatever. Whatever. But if someone comes along and they hear you, they listen to you, they hold you and they don't have the words to say because they don't know how to respond, but they just hold you. Perhaps you're ill and they bought you a lovely bowl of soup that they made. Maybe they don't say much, but they ask, how are you feeling? You see, depending upon how you see love, depending upon how you interpret love, is how you will behave. And it is the behavior, the external that we can see, that shows us how we are applying self-love. If you get up in the morning and you are frustrated at the fact that you're alone, nobody wants you, nobody cares about you, nobody checks in on you, and you keep saying that to yourself, how do you go through the day? Feeling unworthy, unwanted, unloved. Because the actions that you see don't match what you think love is. Or perhaps it does match. There's an element of trust with love. That's why I keep saying to you, if you could not speak, how would you know that someone loved you? By the way they treat you. So self-love is applied by the way you speak to yourself, by the way you feel about yourself, the way you treat yourself. We're out here in these streets wanting people to adore us, appreciate us. Yet, we say the most horrific things to ourselves, forgetting that the principle of correspondence exists. As within, so without. If you treat yourself with impatience because you have not quite accomplished what you wanted to accomplish, because, oh my God, I'm so old now. I'm like 50 and I still haven't done anything. And look at Betty. Look at Luann. They're all booed up and they got 2.3 kids, a parakeet, a dog, and a cat, and a boat in the marina. And I'm still working 9 to 5. See that? The way you just spoke to yourself right there? Because you are comparing yourself to another. When you compare yourself to another, it blinds you to what you are. And when you cannot see yourself, you don't know which way is forward. Because you can't see yourself. You must always see the self. The self is the light that shines out into the world. The self. How do you speak to yourself? You walk around with an attitude of desperation because you're so busy comparing yourself, wanting to be like others. That is not self-love. That is self-depreciation. You're saying to yourself, ugh, look at you. You've done nothing with your life. Look at you. You think somebody's gonna want you? You're old. And heaven forbid if you're a man. Now that's a whole nother ball game, the way men speak to themselves. Because all they hear every day is, be a man. Provide. Take care of somebody else. That's what they hear all day long. Oh, you're not 6 feet tall? Oh, sucker. You're doomed for a lousy existence. So now they walk through the world with the attitude of, oh my God, I'm not good enough. Well, I don't make 6 figures. I'm not even 6 feet. Who's going to want me? And now there's a level of resentment they have towards not only themselves for not being what society says they should be, but towards other people because other people do not see the real them. And we expect that man to love us when he speaks to himself in such a paltry fashion. Self-love begins with the acceptance of what one is. Self-love begins with the acceptance of what one is, not one who is relying upon what the world says they should be. I know that is challenging. Oh, heck yes, I know. Because every time you turn around, society has an opinion of what a woman should be, and society has an opinion of what a man should be. But we forget that society is comprised of individuals. Society is not this thing. Society is made up of you. Society is made up of me. Society is made up of your mother. So society is made up of your father. Society is made up of the birds, the bees, the trees. That is what society is. The cumulative opinions of individuals. So if you can comprehend that the way an individual sees themselves, they will project it out into the world. Now, do you understand what society is? Society is just simply the inner projections of individuals. And if the inner projection of an individual is, oh my God, I can't. My life sucks. If that is the inner projection of most of society, you want to be listening to society? I think not. Surely I think not. Self-love is the ability to look yourself in the eyes. Yeah, you look in your mirror and you look yourself in the eyes. Who do I want to become? I know what society says, but if you go back to the Bible story, why the Bible story? Because it's a story. And if you can hear what the story is saying and apply it, Jesus asked Peter, hey, Peter, nice day we're having. I was wondering, what do people say about me, Peter? Peter said, well, some say you are the Messiah. Some say you are the prophet Elijah returned. Oh, some even go so far, sir, as to say you are John the Baptist, a great prophet returned. That's what people say about you. And Jesus looked Peter square in his face and said, well, Peter, darling, that's nice. That's all fine and dandy, but who do you say that I am? If you listen to that story, it is showing you something very poignant. It is showing you that Jesus asked, what does the world think of me? And then he says, what do you? He narrowed it down from the world's opinion to one opinion, the opinion of the self. It is impossible to please society because society, as we know, is comprised of individuals. Why is it impossible to please society? Because society is fickle. One day they're in this mood, the next day they are in that mood. There is no constant with society, per se. It changes too much, too rapidly. Listen, bell-bottoms were out, shoot, bell-bottoms are back. Platform shoes were out, platform shoes are in. It's like we can't bloody well make up our minds on what we think is fashionable. We even go so far as to say, well, Beyonce don't look good in those jeans, but the little Sweeney chick does. That's only because I read it somewhere on Twitter. See how fickle we are? We don't know who looks good in jeans or not. The point is, when you turn around and look at your butt in the mirror as you wear your jeans, is that booty popping? As the young people would say. If your butt looks good to you in your jeans, then that is the opinion that matters. So that when you put your shoes on, whether they be sneakers, flats, Mary Janes, a heeled pump, when you put those shoes on and you turn around in the mirror and you say, oh, hello, but look at all of that goodness. How do you feel about you? There's a sense of what? Appreciation of how you look in your own eyes. So when you walk outside and you step or you swagger, depending, you're walking with the attitude of, I look good to me. I feel good about myself. So then what happens? From that standpoint, from that mental mood, you have a smile on your face. Because as within, so without. You have a smile on your face. Your shoulders are up, your head is up, your eyes are forward. There's a calmness about you. Because it emanates from within you. It is not emanating from the opinions of 8 billion people. I can't even say 8 billion people because that's not marketing. The people who do the marketing towards the masses are not 8 billion. They are a few. Let me put it to you this way. You've heard the term resting bitch face, yes? Why do you think people say that? You see, we do not see that the mental mood that is invisible shows up on your face, which is visible. You ever seen somebody with that groove in between their eyebrows? Mm-hmm. Yep. Or they have lines on their forehead because they're always, you raise the eyebrows and you're constantly thinking. You're constantly in a state of agitation. So you've got the lines on the forehead, the groove between the eyebrows. Because that mental attitude, or if you're frowning, for somebody to even say, oh my God, you look, oh my. As we say in Barbados, your face is set up like rain. When you see the clouds and they're dark and angry looking, right? That's how you can say that about someone. They look that way. They look a little angry, like the angry clouds. You see, as within, so without is that simple. But because we do not see the corresponding actions, we think that what we feel on the inside does not show up on the outside. And I am telling you, if you look in the mirror long enough, you will see it.